life is God's gift to you. What you do with it is your gift back to God. Well, in a world where challenges are plentiful, it's easy for us to feel discouraged. Yet with enough guidance and support, most people can achieve more in life than they ever dreamed possible. Well, beyond your fears is everything you ever dreamed of. For the Dr. STEM Show will give the voiceless a voice and the hopeless hope. And now, here she is, Dr. STEM.
Hello, before we start the show, I wanted to ask, have you heard of the Empowerment Academy that I just created? Well, if you haven't, this is a platform that has unlimited access that you will have to confidence programs, self-esteem programs, and success building programs, as well as mental health and mental wellness programs. Join today at www.drstemi.com. Now, let's get into the show. Hello and welcome to another segment of the Dr. STEM Show. I hope everyone is continuing to keep safe. And as you know, we try to bring you shows where we encourage you, empower you, inspire you, especially during these times when everyone is scrambling to find their true passion, to find themselves, and to find something to do with their lives, whether you've lost a job or you are at a job that you're, contemplating trying to find something new, you will be inspired by today's show. As you know, we are also in the midst of Black Lives Matter. And today I'm excited because I have two, we want to call it in the right context, African-American men, Black men, who are in business together. And we're going to talk about their business because it's an exciting movie making business. And before I start, I want to thank Mr. Lamad Wingster, who's one of our guests. And, I want to thank you, sir, for your service and welcome you to the show. Welcome to the Dr. STEM Show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And with us on the other end is also one of your partners, Mr. Dwayne Philibert. Welcome to the show as well, sir.
Yes, thank you. How you guys doing?
Good. So here's the thing. I met Mr. Dwayne, at his company where his day job, because this is his passion and this is, where his heart is. But I met him as his day job, and as we were talking, he managed to make sure that I know that he is in the business of making movies and he's a business owner. Because, what I do is when I go to companies and do trainings or, crisis intervention, as I was doing at this job, I always talk about, people having their own businesses and, tap a little bit into their passion. And to be honest with you, I don't know how we started, but then he started talking to me about this business, and I was really interested in knowing more about it. And I thought, you know what? The world needs to know more about it. So let me just start off by, asking you gentlemen to just tell us, and I'll start with you, Mr. Dwayne, just to tell us about yourself, just a little bit of background.
Yes, my name is Dwayne Philibert. I was born in Jamaica, raised in Brooklyn, New York. I was born in Jamaica in Island, raised in Brooklyn, New York. I joined the military at 19. I was United States Marine, once Marine, always a Marine, hurrah. And over time, I developed a passion in creativity because I always did art my whole life, but I never went into like digital art. And then once I went into digital art with Photoshop, Illustrator, things like that, I picked up a camera and said, you know what? I don't want to get sued for copyrights using other people's pictures. So I decided to take my own pictures. And once I started taking pictures, my camera, when I brought it, it was like a $1,500 camera. So I was like, it has video. I never used it before. So I started to shoot little things here and there. And over time, once I got out of active duty, I actually met Lamar Wingster at a cadet program, which I also helped build and he also helped build. And we just was there at the same time, and it was supposed to happen because he was always in the movie scenery. And once he brought me under his wing and showed me how to do different things with movies, how to edit movies, how to use After Effects, it just developed from there. And we've just been moving ever since. Like the first movie I ever shot with him, I was directing it, and he's actually in it. And it was a short movie. And I remember him saying, "We're gonna win this," because it was for film. It was for film competition, and he was like, "We're gonna win this," and we did it within 24 hours, under 24 hours, and we got best pictures. We got everything that night, so we won everything. So that's a little bit of my background and where I came from and how I moved into the movie scenery.
Okay, I have to clear this with the audience, right? So when I asked about the background, he never even told me that he was in the Marines. So don't blame me for not thanking him as well. So thank you for your service. I'm just hearing it now. My apologies that I missed that at the beginning.
No problem, no problem. You're welcome.
Thank you, thank you. And Mr. Lamont, who are you, sir?
Who am I? I'm an original black man. That's just who I am. I am from New York. I wish I was born in the island, but I wasn't. I am from New York. Was born in Harlem. Grew up in the Bronx. Didn't go to the service. I wish I had, but my time going to the service was kind of cut short. But I'm a martial artist. Been a martial artist for 49 years. Well, dangerous. But I'm much calmer than you can ever see. I'm a nice, happy guy. I got into film in 1996. Got into film work. I started writing, and I wanted to do films, and it was such a hard thing to get into. I gave it to a couple of people, and they just looked at it, and it was like, I don't know. But when I did find somebody to do my film for me, we shot the film in like 3 months and took it to the Cannes Film Festival and won Best Picture as far as sales are concerned. My movie was purchased by York Entertainment in California. And they purchased my first film, which is called Throwdown, that I wrote. I didn't direct it because I didn't know anything about filming or anything like that. And I never turned back around after that. I have at least about 30 films under my belt, some which is on Amazon. And like I said, I started learning how to shoot films and started learning how to edit. And I've always was a writer, and I just started putting films together. And here I am today doing animation now. And just doing those films, like I love it. I love it right now.
The original black man, so I can say I'm the original African queen because I'm the only one from Africa. I'm from Zimbabwe, so.
Listen, we are from the queen. We are from the queen.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You just mentioned your movie, Throwdown movie. That was your first
My first film I ever made the movie was called Throwdown, which the company changed the name to Throwdown because I really originally wanted to be called Altered Life. It was written about the experience of me growing up as a child in love with a girl that I wanted to marry, but she ended up being murdered by someone I looked up to as a father. Oh. And I didn't know that. So I didn't know that until later on in life, but I wrote the movie about that, and it was pretty cool.
Oh, wow. And yeah. Is that one of those movies that people can find on Amazon?
Yeah, you can find it on Amazon. You just type in Throwdown and type in my name, and it'll show you where to get the movie from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but last time I noticed it was on Amazon. So I was kind of happy that movie came out, and it came out in 2000, the year 2000. So
he's kind of modest because it was also a Blockbuster original. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was on the shelf in Blockbusters as well. So it was okay. Yeah.
Oh, we want you not to be modest because what I'm hearing and seeing, right now is a path that any young Black man that's out there that's not seeing the future being bright, can now begin to see how the future can be bright. So I'm excited that as we are talking with the two of you, we are also paving the path for some young men that are out there to know that it's possible, because many might have the same dreams or even any other dreams that they have, and they have to understand and know that their dreams can also come true.
Well, let me let these young black people know this. And let me tell you guys this. Nobody can tell our stories but us. No one. We are the only original people that can write this story because we made up every story there is. We made up every people there is. And we got to understand that. So once you guys understand that, you can understand where your dreams come. Number one, pray. Pray to God to give you that gift that you've always had and bring it to light. People need to know everybody's story. Everybody's story, because if you look back in Africa, that's what we used to tell our children. This is what gave us hope. This is what gave us honor. This is what made us who we are today.
You're
That's
right.
what I want to say to the young black people.
You're right. Thank you so much. So I know that at some point you guys started what we're going to be talking about today, the WP Studios, Wingster and Philibert Studios. Mr. Dwayne, I think I'll go back to you. Tell us how this all started.
Yes, the way that it all started, it was an ice cold winter day in New York, and myself and Lamar, we've done a few movies together and everything. I was still, learning different angles on the camera, how to use it to like manipulate certain things that you want told in a film. And what happened was that one day I was home, he was home editing and everything, for as far as I know, but he called me and go, "Hey, what do you think about going into animation?" And I was like, we never did it before. He never went to school for it. I never went to school for it. I went for advertising. So I was like, why not? Let's just do it. And from there, over time, we developed our first animation, which was Prodigal X, which I have on the t-shirt right here. And what happened was, it wasn't as good as how we are now. It was at the start, the base, because like I said, we never went to school for it. But we kept on building on it and building on it. Then out of nowhere, like more and more people was coming at us saying, "Hey, this is real good. Where you guys going with this? Hey, this is real good. Where you guys going with this?" So I had to talk with Lamar, and I was like, we should just start our own company and then have all our films under one umbrella, from the animations to the movies that we did to the little commercial side pieces that I've been shooting on the side and he's been shooting, and TV shows that he's been showing me how to shoot and he's been shooting also, because he's in some funny ones, by the way, that he shot himself. So from there, we just kept on going, and then little by little, people started to gravitate to us saying, "What is this? What is that? Who you guys doing this with?" And we're like, "This is Wingster and Philibert. You don't know? This is us." So that's where it all started when it came down to animation, as far as how I got in the loop with the animation part and how we started to build the WP Studios. Yeah.
So I'll tell you, Mr. Lamont, because you were not there when I met Mr. Philibert at his job. When
Okay.
he mentioned film, because I used to live in Boston, I now live here in the Orlando, Florida area. I used to shoot the Dr. STEM show, which was a TV show, in a local studio in Salem, Massachusetts. And ever since I came to Florida, I haven't found a studio that I could resume shooting in the studio. So, I've been doing this on my computer and just, going through Zoom and then, putting them on YouTube. But my whole dream and love is to be back in the studios. So when he started talking about this, I said, you know what, I'm going to go around about way, because my dream is to get into the studios. So one of these days, whether you guys know it or not, you will be producing the Dr. Stem Show.
Yes, definitely. We're all about it because, like I said, we do want our own channel. We want to be. I don't know if you ever heard of Brian Allen, but Brian Allen owns so many channels. We want to be on his channel and be able to feed him things that we're doing. So it's like we want TV shows, we want talk shows, we want movies, we want animation, we want music videos, we want everything that Tyler Perry's doing and more. So we're shooting for the stars. We're shooting for Mars, like Kevin Hart said. We're shooting for Mars and past Mars.
Let me tell you, Dr. Stem. Let me tell you how God works. You see how God works? God works in mysterious ways, doesn't he? Now, you've met Mr. Philibert, and you always said you wanted to show. Already, he done told you that somebody taught him how to film. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Now, look how close your destiny is getting ready to come. Because when I retire next year, I will be down there. Not in Orlando, but I'll be in Georgia, close. And you already said that you see yourself having this TV show. You're going to have it. Because look at the building blocks coming together already. You already got 2 black men that's willing to film your stuff. You hear what I'm saying to you?
I knew it. God
you hear what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
God works in mysterious ways.
Amen.
You know what I mean? Amen. Not to just mention that he already had told you, nobody taught us how to do what we do. You hear what I'm saying? It was already destined in our beings to know how to do this stuff. Because before I started animation and the way it started looking now today, it wasn't looking like this 2 years ago.
Wow.
And you see how God has just opened up my mind. Never went to school for none of this.
Wow.
But people always say there ain't no God. No, there is a God, because there's no way I can have what I have today without believing in this being. All right, let's not call him a man. Let's just say this being, because how you know God is a man? God is God.
Yes.
You hear what I'm trying to tell you? Yes. And this is what I have today. I met this man, didn't know him from Adam, but my spirit felt him the first day I locked eyes on him. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You hear what I'm saying? And I had to teach him everything I know along with my children. My children are doing what I do. So why not give this gift that was given to me to pass it on?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Now, here it is. God done put the blocks together. Now, here we are today. Even the 2 young ladies that are working with us today, God has put them in our place.
Yes.
And this is where we are today, because I could have been still doing this by myself, selfish and not wanting to do it. No. I can't have God by myself. He has to be shared. He has to know. People have to know this is what God does for people.
Yes.
I'm a true believer. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to preach. Go ahead.
See, what I love about this show is, you're speaking my language, because I do what I do because God uses me to reach his people in many different facades. I write books. I'm a therapist. I do this, I do talk shows. I'm a motivational speaker. And in everything that I do, I know that God's hand is in it. So with you bringing it in, all I do is before I start the show, I pray about it and ask, for his presence. So however it comes, I'm so welcoming to it sometimes. And this is about life too. We plan what it is that we're going to say on the show and the questions that we'll ask, and then it's led into what it's supposed to be. And
that's right.
I
that's right.
I let it.
That's a blessing by itself. By itself.
And as you can see, he's wearing our other shirt, "Have Faith." That's our other shirt. That's our slogan actually. It goes in every email and everything.
My address I will be sharing right after. Both or all of them.
Yes, I'll definitely tell Clivia about this.
But that's not even fair, because then we planned this probably now nearly about a month ago. My shirts should have been here. I should have been wearing my shirt. Isn't that how it goes?
Listen, yes, Dr. Stern, I'm going to tell you just like this. I'm just a cook.
We forgot to talk about that. Tell us about that, because it says the cook. Why the cook?
What it is, I call myself the cook because God gives us certain levels to be at. I'm where I'm supposed to be with creating. I can't be doing the media, the social media. I can't do all of that because if I do all of that, that's going to take away what I'm supposed to be doing. God put me in this place and this is where I'm going to be. I'm going to keep creating. You know what I mean? So if I keep creating, you got Clivia, you got Patricia, you got Dwayne. They all have a path to bring us all together. Now you have this path along with us. You see what I'm saying? Because you want to show. Listen, let me tell you like this. We gonna be there for you. You hear me? And if nobody else ain't gonna be there, Dwayne gonna be there first. But I'm gonna get there. You hear me? And I'm gonna be in the kitchen cooking. So we call it like a restaurant. I'm just the chef. Dwayne is the maitre d'. Clivia is the manager because she gonna make sure things get right. Yeah. You hear me? And Patricia gonna make sure everybody get things right. Ooh. You hear what I'm telling you? So at the end of the day, we all have a job. I know my place. I'm not gonna take over Dwayne's place because I don't know that. You hear me? I'm just a cook.
I'm just gonna show up as Oprah and just be ready to do anything else.
We all get a car. Yes. And with that being said, he's a cook. He stays in the kitchen. I'm the guy that makes sure, hey, look, he got what he got going on, what people want to see. We talk about it. We try to put it in there and everything. But I'm the face of majority of the things that we do. I make sure that if we need investors, I start planning for investors. If we need social media coverage, I'd start planning for social media coverage, such as our Instagram, YouTube, things like that. Like every day I'm building on those things so that he can stay cooking and we could do everything right, because I also create, but right now that's not what I need to do because he's already doing it. So I have to put myself out there and try to learn more of the business side of the studio and production and things like that, and try to make networking like part of my daily routine. So I'm always DMing like Tyler Perry, Kevin Hart, and these guys, even though they don't really answer, but I'm always trying to reach out to somebody to rock all of them because they're in that that position where they could say, there's something interesting over there. Let me give them a hand, or probably I could guide them or become a mentor or something like that for that particular company. So it's always something that I'm always working on.
So you do the public relations part of it, which you did very good, because then even by talking to me and, us connecting in this way, this is also exposure, because then the people that I will put it out on and you guys will put it out on, as, Mr. Lamont said, you never know when God will answer each and every one of those prayers. But the thing about it is to never give up your faith, never to give up your hope, but to continue doing your part. Because as we are doing this part that we might not even see as big, it's a big part of God's plan of how he is weeding it all and everything is connecting. I call it connecting the dots, that he's continuously connecting the dots. And as long as we continue doing what we, need to do, he will make sure that every one of those dots will connect. So I'm very excited, this will work, out. So, given that, I want to go back into Mr. Lamont. You make movies, you write movies, you never even learned about it. I mean, there's a young man out there that says, but where do you start? How did you start? Where did you start? Where did this passion come from?
It came from me wanting to be in movies, and nobody would never pick me because I was too short. I wasn't tall enough. And I kept saying to myself, I want to do it. So I read about Sylvester Stallone. He was in pornographic movies before he became Rocky.
Oh,
he was a big star in pornographic movies. And then what happened was he had a dream to be in movies. So what he did was he wrote the film Rocky, and he gave it to studios, and studios were telling him, well, we'll take it, but we don't want you in it. He said, well, then you don't want my movie. And so he saved them enough money and he did it himself. And look where he's at today. So I took that idea and I wrote my story. And I showed it to a couple of people. I showed it to Heavy D. I showed it to Bad Boys, and they were looking at me like, no, no, no. Then I showed it to a couple of other people, and they said, you know what? I'm going to take it, and I'm going to see what I can do with it for you. And in that time, they just said, you know what? You got a good story. I never read a story like this before, and here I am today, doing movies, making money off the movies. You know, I'm not with Denzel, my cousin is right now, but I'm gonna be there. You know.
Denzel is your cousin?
You didn't know that? You didn't know Denzel was my cousin?
Are we talking Denzel Washington or Denzel Miss?
You didn't know Denzel was my cousin? Denzel, you know Denzel Washington. Me and him got the same W in our name.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Now people, Denzel's not my cousin, so I just always say that joke because we got WW. But anyway, but that's how I started. That's how I really started, and I never turned back around. And every time I get an idea, I write it down. And some man named which he's still my friend today, his name is Steve Schreiber. He showed me how to write the scripts, and because he brought a script home to me, a template, and he said, "Here, just follow this." And I followed it, and like I said, we're still friends today, and we've been friends over 30-something years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you for that. Mr. Dwayne, how did your passion start? Where did this, desire to make movies and stuff, how did you start?
Well, growing up, I was actually, like I said, I was in the creative field. I went to school for art. I went to school to paint and draw people, everything like that. So I was always in the creative field. In high school, I got into the modeling field where I did it for like IDI Basics, Mecca, Saran John, and some other ones out there. And knew I was doing that. I decided to go into the military. When I went into the military, I was doing graphics for party flyers. And I used to pull like models off the internet, things like that to put on there. And one of my guys actually came to me and was like, hey, you can get sued for using their other people's photography work, right? And I was like, no, I didn't know that. So I decided to, buy remember when the digital cameras first came out, the small box ones? I brought one of those and I started to take my own pictures. And that's how that started. And then when I got enough money from taking pictures of other people, like other models and things like that, I decided to buy a better camera, which was a Nikon. And my first Nikon was a D7000 when it first came out, and it was like $1,500 at the time. So I was like, I'm gonna use every single feature on this thing. So I started to shoot videos here and there, but I never knew how to edit them or anything like that. So I used to just put them out there the way it was. And little by little, I started to continue doing this things with mentoring little kids and everything. And Lamar did the same thing on his end. And we all just met up and started to build this cadet corps. And meanwhile we was building, me and him was just talking about filming and everything. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come out there one day and, see what you got going on. So he called me one day and he was like, hey, I'm filming. I need a second guy on a camera. I'm like, I'm not that good, but I bring my camera anyway. So when I brought my camera, he was like, all right, set your settings on here, do this, do that. And I'm like, I don't even know where that is. So it was my own camera. I didn't know where any of that was. So he started playing around with it. And then from there, I started to learn little by little. And I saw a competition, like I said earlier, and it was the Winter Film Festival. And I told him about it, and he was like, "Oh, you must want to win because that's all I do is win. I don't." And and literally that whole day, we was filming on one of the tour bus. We was filming in Manhattan in the Prospect Park on the street, and he just kept on saying every time when the film was done, "We gonna win this. We gonna win this." And I was like, how do you know this? So we finished shooting and everything, and we're at his house and we're editing. And while we were editing, it was supposed to be a 24-hour film, and we was probably like 15 hours in. And he's already like, yeah, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. We're about to win this. Look at this fire. This is fire right here. And I'm halfway asleep, like off the chair. And he was like, yeah, wake up. Look at this. So, after that, we turned it in, And when we went to the premiere of it, and everybody was there, we was all in a small room because Corona wasn't around then.
Yeah.
And um, and
They
they
was
called
telling us in
him.
the beginning, you guys won. As soon as we walked in the door, and I was like, no, I
They
thought they
told
were
him
just saying
that.
it to us.
They
Yeah,
told
Really?
me that, and I was like, after he
yeah.
said that to me, I was like, we'll see. And I'm talking about they had this whole corner full of stuff, production equipments and everything. It was
Yeah.
like over more than $1,000 worth of stuff.
Like
And
about $3,000 or stuff.
yeah, they called other guys and everything, and I was like, man, our film looked better than that one though. And then we just
Yeah.
kept on going, our film looked better than that one. And then they called us, and I was like, oh, he was right. And to this day, like everybody want more of that film. It was a short film, and they were like, "You need to make this into production because this film is dope." And the concept of the film, if you go back and see it, it's called A Carrier, and it's about a agent that was in the military. And all our films have, we always have the black females as our heroes. So it was an agent. She came from the military, and they pulled her in as soon as she was coming out the military to join the special agency. And she went in, and they decided to send her on this mission to get a transport device. And when she got the transport device, it was like everybody was out to kill her. So she called in and was like, "What did you have me pick up?" And my voice, of course, said it was transport device and everything. And from there, it was like a whole bunch of action in there. And then she just hit the transport device trying to break it, and she just went right back into time. That was
Yeah,
Actually,
and it was something that we didn't even write. We just added everything in as we were going along for that 24-hour shoot. No
wow.
script, no nothing.
yeah. Even the person that we used was like 5 hours before we used her.
Yeah, yep.
That's so interesting. Mr. Lamont, I'm going to ask you to do something.
What's that?
I need you to close your eyes
Close my eyes. Okay.
and describe to me your vision of this company 5 years from now. What do we see? Where are we? And Mr. Dwayne, you prepare because right after he does, I need you to also close it so you can describe what you see and how this company, will have grown and what we will see when it's, 5 years from today. What do you see? Describe.
What I see 2 years from now, I'm not even going to 5 because I know 5 we're gonna be way out there. But what I see 2 years from now is that we're gonna have our own building. We're gonna have our own studio inside that building. We're gonna have our own offices in that building. We're gonna have other people working for us in that building as far as editing, as far as filming, as far as the studio where you can sit down and do your show at our studio. I also see us making money where we're helping children learning who can't afford to go to film school learn how to do what we do, and us teaching them how to do what we do because a village teaches children to do things. So that's what I see. I don't see us being billionaires and stuff like that because I don't live my life that way. I live my life being wanting to show other people what we do so they can do it, so they can have the courage in their heart instead of standing on the street corner, instead of selling drugs. I see them learning something where they can present their story to other people to see how they're living, because there's so many kids out here who are going through certain things that we as adults don't even know. Their passions of learning, how to be an adult, how to be a productive adult, instead of going into the military, instead of hanging out on the corners, instead of going to nightclubs, learning that they can be lawyers, they can be doctors, they can be judges, they can be anything they want to be. And this is the dreams that I want to be able to give these children. Like I said, kids who can't afford to go to college. I see us having a building. I see us having a school where we can teach our kids about true Black history. Not just that we were slaves, but to teach them more things, that what we've done for America, so they can be proud of saying, you know what, I know that my ancestors just wasn't slaves. We built Washington. We built these things that people just don't want to give us credit for. That's what I see.
Thank you. I need you to complete this statement.
Okay.
God says, you have not because
You ask not.
you will be multi-billionaires, because without the $1 billion, you cannot have the buildings, neither can you help these children. We need to start claiming the billionaires, the multi-billion dollars, because without that money, we cannot build the schools, we cannot have the studios, neither can we have all the transportation that we can go and get the grandmothers that need to be in your films and transport them. All of what you just described is $1 trillion business. So we are claiming those $1 trillion, and believing that God will provide for you guys as well, because it is from your mouth to his ears. Mr. Dwayne, what do you see?
All right. That is true. And it's funny that that's what he said, because I actually was talking to my sister about something like that. But when I close my eyes, this is what I see 2 years to 5 years from now. I'm gonna do the 5 years thing too. I see that we're starting another department within our studio, which is the gaming department that other studios aren't doing right now. Alongside with the landmass that we have, that Tyler Perry has basically said, hey, if I could do it, anybody could do it. So I see us doing that and probably surpassing that. I see us working with the kids that cannot afford certain things in colleges. But what I was saying earlier was, I was speaking to my sister this week, and I said, I want to build a university because she's a fashion designer. She wants to do things on a level of FIT or better. So I said I would build one if I had the money. And when I do have the money, I will build one and let her have it. And all she has to do is make sure that she run the program that she wants in there and the programs that I want, because her program that she's trying to build is obsolete right now, which is pattern making. So she's saying she knows how to do it. So I said, I want you to do that. Meanwhile, I do what Full Sail do within that college. So I see ourselves doing that and surpassing everything else that everyone has done. Because like you can ask Lamar, every day I come up with a different idea to just try to throw in there. So, yeah.
Wow. You both gentlemen just rekindled one of my dreams. Years ago, I started a nonprofit when I was living in Boston, and it was a Dr. STEM Multicultural Performing Arts Center. I had a private practice in Boston where I was also providing counseling services, and at that time, I was only serving teenagers and parents. And with these teenagers, what I saw was whenever I talked about their passion, which is the singing, the dancing, I mean, it just brought, all this glow and joy and excitement when we talk about that part of their lives and what they wanted to do. But I also noticed that it's not supported in the high school, where they are. It's always about math, English, geography, but not much about the Performing Arts Center. So that's why I had started that. But as you know, one thing led to another, and I couldn't get it up, and going and running when I was there. But I always said, one of these days I want to also start that. And I just, thought about it when you both were telling me about your vision for the next 2 years, because I wanted to bring people from Africa. We also have young teenagers and from around the world, actually, that can come in and have this big place where they come and perform, but they are young people, competing to perform for scholarships, for money for school, or something, because then it will be both entertainment and also, a way to get these young people into studios and schools like yours, which will teach them how to make movies and everything. And that could be, some of the prices that they get from schools like yours, where they can get a year and come here and stay and get a year in school. So I also see how God is merging these dreams and visions together.
Yes, definitely. And that's the focus, because like, even though I never told Lamar or the team about the college thing, because literally on Friday after I did a showcase, because I did a Black Expo showcase all last week, and I did a showcase And my sister called me and was like, you know, I never really felt the urge to like tell everybody what I really want to do, but she felt the urge she needs to tell me, and now she wants to tell everybody else. And she was telling me like where she lives in North Carolina, there's no kind of college for fashion there, and everybody's saying New York is the best place to do it. And I'm like, no, New York is not the best place to do it. The best place to do it is where whoever has the money to say, I'm doing it here and everybody else is coming here. And from there, I was like, I'm going to build a college. I will build a college. And when I build a college, it's not going to be in my name. I'm going to put it in your name because this is your idea. That's what I said to her. This is your idea. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that that college is up and running and we could get all these people that can't afford certain things in that college.
Wow. You see, I mean, when you know, great minds connect, it's like we continue talking and we can't even talk enough, and we continue just, you know, merging these ideas. So I'm so excited. And as I always tell people, right, when you have that vision, you know, because without a vision, the people perish. And the thing that will continue to help people get through this pandemic, my thing as a mental health professional as well as a life career coach is, listen, have a vision, follow that vision, and have a passion that you have, because that's one of those things that will get us through with ease, you know, during this pandemic. But it's hard enough when you don't have a vision. What are some of the ideas maybe imparting that you gentlemen can give as advice on how to go through these challenging times as you go through also building WP Studios?
Dwayne, you can go first with this.
Well, what I learned over time is when you have a vision, you have to stay focused. Sometimes it's going to fail, and it will always fail, like 20, 40 times. It will continuously failing. Like, I can tell you, there are times when I'm like, I don't have no money in my pocket, but we have to have something to do, and we have to get certain things, and I'll go out there and start hustling for it. I'm not nothing illegal, but I'll hustle for it and try to get families and friends to be like, all right, here, you could hold this for now and everything, and then get what you need. But I would say if you have a vision, if you have a passion, go for it. No matter what it is, just go for it. Because while you're on your journey going through it, you're going to learn that there are more and more people out there that has the same dream or have the same vision that you have, but they don't have what you have, as in like you're the creator. Lamar is the creator. Right? I know how to go out there and start networking, start talking to people. So now, if both of us come together, we have something that runs a business. If you look at how Facebook started, one person knew how to code. The other person just had the money. Put them together, you have Facebook. So it's almost the same thing. If you have a vision, go for it. Down the line somewhere, somebody's going to be there and say, hey, look, I know you already started this. I see you hustling. I see where you're going with it. This is what I have for you. And you never know where you end up.
Thank you for that. Mr. Lamar, as we end, what parting words do you have?
Well, the words I have to this for the young people and everyone, think about it like you're just one seed. When you get put in that ground, do you expect to grow or do you expect to stay there? As far as I know, when seeds go in the ground and God spreads that rain on it, it grows from a root to a branch to leaves. And that's what you want to be able to do. Once you start growing, people will start seeing your tree. And then what they want to get shaded by your tree. You hear me? They're going to come around your tree for shade. And when people come around your tree for shade, they usually like that tree because then they always go to that tree because that tree got the best shade in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me?
Yeah.
That tree got the best shade. So people are going to draw to you. So stick with your dreams. Don't give up. Because if you give up, you'll be saying to yourself, you know what? Gosh, I should have did that. Now look, somebody else did it. And you know why? Because being that God gave you the talent, you didn't use it. He takes it and gives it to somebody else.
Yep.
I'm not going to let that happen to me. No, sorry, Bobby. That's where I'm at today.
I see. Thank you, gentlemen.
All
and
right.
for all of you that have been listening, I want to encourage you, as you have heard, to follow your dreams, to never, ever, ever give up. I think I have 3 C's that I can just, round up this session that we had. I heard about coincidence, and there's nothing, coincidental about these 2 gentlemen meeting. There's nothing coincidental about me meeting with Mr. Dwayne at his job. I also heard about chances. You always have to take chances, to take risks, and to always be open for people to come in and help you or merge with you. So I know without a shadow of a doubt that this show in 2 years we'll be talking about how all these 3 visions merged right here on this show.
That's right.
Came true. So I can't wait for that time. And there's never a time that my good Lord has ever forsaken me for things
That's right.
I have said and prayed for. Everything has come true in His time. So hold on, as Mr. Dwayne said. Sometimes you will fail, and sometimes it just looks dark and dim and doesn't seem like it's going to, come up or work out for you. It does. It will work out. Just wait for it, though it tarries. Until next time, this is Dr. Sam. Be encouraged.
You just heard from Dr. Stem. She is opening up an opportunity for you to have unlimited access to Empowerment Hub, filled with life success resources to help you deal with stress, communication, confidence issues, career decisions, business success tips, and more. So now, the only question left is, are you ready? Are you ready to tackle that one thing preventing you from achieving your highest potential? To achieve that one goal you've been chasing, to turn your dreams into reality, to finally keep that promise you've been making to yourself. Let Dr. Stem's programs be your guide to feeling more confident and fearless. Are you ready to become a Premier member for only $27 a month? That's less than a coaching session. Get unlimited access to Dr. Stem's empowerment courses, ebooks, free webinars, and more. Become a member today for only $27 a month.